right, people, what an offseason it has been for the Brooklyn Nets. Rumors swirled about Kyrie Irving potentially wanting out before opting in to a $36.5 million option. But then KD basically said, hold my beer. He went to Joe Tsai to request a trade, and the news came exactly 3 years after it was announced that Durant, Irving, and DeAndre Jordan were signing with the Nets. Then stories emerged following a meeting that KD wanted both GM Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash gone, but owner Tsai publicly backed the staff shortly after the news broke. Here's Brian Windhorst with the latest on KD.
A week ago, if you had asked me, will Kevin Durant hold out a training camp if he's not traded, I'd have been like, I can't see it. Now I can see it.
Yeah.
So that is what we're headed towards.
Tim Van Gundy is here, NBA Insider. And Tim called this thing a layup, basically, and I strongly disagreed. But why do you think it's such a layup, Tim, and where are you now?
Well, I mean, to be clear for the listeners at home, what I called a layup was Joe Tsai's tweet saying that they were not going to fire Sean Marks and Steve Nash and keep them as part of the franchise. And as Brian was alluding to there, the reason why that was the case, Monica, is Kevin Durant doesn't really have a hand to play here. He doesn't have anything to do. His options are to not be out on the court and play, which I think we both know, knowing Kevin, that's not what he wants to do. He wants to play. Yeah. Or to try to do something like this, to try to make something like this happen. But the Nets have him under contract for the next 4 years. His extension just started. So when he signed that extension last summer, he gave away a lot of the leverage he had in this situation. He can ask for a trade, but if nobody's willing to pony up what it takes to get him, which so far that's been the case, he's just left without much of a hand to play right now.
You are wise. You've covered this league for a long time. It makes sense, but I just feel like it's not going to be that simple. And I could be wrong. I think the issue to me is this roster on paper, if KD opts not to join this squad, then you're starting to question how much he really wants to win because of the amount of talent that's there.
They have a chance to be really good. That's the crazy thing about this season. Like, all we've talked about with this offseason is, as you alluded to in the open, what's going on with the Nets? What's going on off the court? Who's going to be here? Who's not? Who's going to be employed? Who's not? The Nets, with everybody on the court, are really, really good.
Really scared.
If Ben Simmons actually plays, if Kyrie Irving actually plays, if Kevin Durant actually plays, this team could win the East. They could be that good. So let's see them get on the court. And I'm sure that's going to be the Nets' pitch to Kevin. Let's get this on the court. Let's see what happens, because right now, even if we want to trade you, we can't get enough to make sense to trade you right now. So let's try to make this work.
Okay, you and I both agree that he is a baller and wants to play ball. However, the tweet that he most recently sent over the weekend, responding to someone saying that he thinks that his value is at an all-time high in terms of his ability. Any chance we see something out of character and he does hold out?
I mean, look, he isn't wrong in that he's still an elite player, one of the best players in the NBA. The bottom line is, people around the league don't view trading for him as worth trading what it takes for the Nets to make a deal happen.
Yeah.
So both things are true, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, if Kevin tries to not play or burn this thing down like that, really go all the way to the wall, I just don't think it's going to get what he wants accomplished. I think the Nets will just probably sit back and say, this really can't get any worse. The offers aren't going to get worse, so we're going to wait and see if somebody wants to up their offer further. To me, he's left with one option, which is to play really well, and at some point down the road, maybe a team will panic and offer a lot more to the Nets, because otherwise, I think he's going to be in Brooklyn.
So we're going to get to Media Day, and he's going to be like, just kidding.
I mean, I'm not sure what he's going to say at Media Day. I mean, look, think about Nets Media Day. Think about that.
It's going to be a show.
You got Kyrie Irving, who could say anything at any time. You got Ben Simmons, who hasn't talked really in a year and a half, other than one or two little press conferences last season. And then you've got Kevin Durant, who's going to have to come back from this trade request and talk about being on a team he said he wants to leave and wanted to get the GM and coach fired. So,
this is the beauty of basketball.
That's going to be a popcorn situation.
This is the beauty of basketball, though, Bontemps, because all of these things have happened. All of these things have happened and captivated us, and we're going to play basketball, and all of this will be watched
Let's get back to talking about basketball. That'd be great.
There you go.
Sign me up for that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.